The late afternoon sun cast golden streaks across the sprawling city park, where the rustle of leaves mingled with the distant laughter of children playing. The air carried the crisp scent of autumn, and the paths wound through old oak trees, their branches heavy with turning leaves. At a worn wooden bench near the playground, Lucas Bennett sat watching his 6-year-old son, Ethan, chase a soccer ball with clumsy enthusiasm. At 35, Lucas was a single dad who lived paycheck to paycheck, piecing together rent with 2 jobs, delivery driver by day, warehouse worker by night. His faded jeans and scuffed sneakers told a story of sacrifice, but his eyes, fixed on Ethan's grin, held a quiet pride. This park was their sanctuary, a place where bills and late notices couldn't follow. Lucas adjusted the threadbare jacket around Ethan's small shoulders, making sure he was warm as the breeze picked up. He hadn't planned on staying long, just enough time for Ethan to burn off energy before dinner, which would likely be instant noodles again. His mind was on the overdue electric bill when a woman's voice broke through his thoughts. "Lucas? Lucas Bennett?" He looked up, startled, and his breath caught. Standing before him was a woman in a tailored navy coat, her auburn hair catching the sunlight like polished copper. Her face was familiar, though older, softer around the edges. It was Rachel Harper, his high school sweetheart, the one he'd dreamed of marrying before life pulled them apart. "Rachel," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. What are you doing here?" Rachel smiled, a mix of surprise and warmth in her green eyes. "I was walking through the park on my way to a meeting. I saw you and Ethan, and I couldn't believe it was you." She glanced at Ethan, who was now kicking his ball against a tree. "Is that your son?" "Yeah," Lucas said, standing to face her, suddenly aware of his worn clothes and unshaven jaw. "Ethan. He's 6. Rachel, this is... Wow, it's been what, 15 years?" His heart raced, memories flooding back, late-night talks, stolen kisses, promises they couldn't keep when she left for college, and he stayed behind to care for his sick mother. "Daddy, look!" Ethan called, running over with his soccer ball, his cheeks flushed. "I kicked it super far." Lucas knelt to ruffle his son's hair. "That's awesome, buddy. This is Rachel, an old friend of mine." Rachel crouched to Ethan's level, her expensive coat brushing the grass. "Hi, Ethan. That's some serious kicking. Do you play soccer all the time?" Ethan nodded shyly, clutching his ball. "You're pretty," he said, then hid behind Lucas's leg. Rachel laughed, a sound that took Lucas back to simpler days. "Mind if I sit?" Rachel asked, gesturing to the bench. Lucas nodded, still processing her presence. She looked different, polished, confident, like someone who belonged in a boardroom, not a public park. "So," she said, settling beside him, "tell me about your life. What's it been like?" Lucas hesitated. The truth wasn't glamorous. "It's been tough. Ethan's mom left when he was 2. I've been raising him alone. I work 2 jobs, trying to keep a roof over our heads. It's not much, but we get by." He forced a smile. "What about you? You look like you're doing well." Rachel's expression softened, a flicker of something. Guilt, maybe, crossing her face. "I've been lucky," she said. "I started a tech company after college. It's done well. I'm the CEO now." She didn't elaborate, but Lucas's eyes widened. He'd heard of Harper Innovations, the tech giant revolutionizing AI. Rachel Harper was that Rachel Harper, a billionaire, according to the headlines. "Wow," Lucas said, his voice tinged with awe and a hint of self-consciousness. "That's incredible. You always said you'd change the world." He looked down at his hands, calloused from lifting boxes. "I guess I'm still just trying to keep the lights on." Rachel touched his arm lightly, her gesture gentle but deliberate. "Lucas, you're raising a son on your own. That's changing the world in a way I'll never understand. Don't sell yourself short." Her sincerity caught him off guard, and for a moment, he forgot the gap between their lives. Ethan tugged at Lucas's sleeve. "Can I play with Rachel?" he asked, his shyness fading. Lucas hesitated, but Rachel grinned. "I'd love that," she said, standing. "Come on, Ethan, show me your best moves." For the next half hour, Lucas watched as Rachel kicked the soccer ball with Ethan, her laughter ringing out as she pretended to miss his shots. Her coat was streaked with grass, but she didn't seem to care. Lucas felt a warmth he hadn't known in years, mixed with a pang of doubt. Rachel was a billionaire, living in a world of private jets and penthouses. He was a dad who couldn't afford new sneakers for his son. What was she doing here, playing in the dirt with them? As the sun dipped lower, Rachel returned to the bench, slightly out of breath. "He's amazing," she said, watching Ethan chase a butterfly. "You're doing an incredible job, Lucas." "Thanks," he said, his throat tight. "It's hard, you know. I want to give him everything, but some days I can barely give him enough." He hadn't meant to say that, but Rachel's presence made honesty feel safe. She nodded, her eyes distant. "I get it. I have everything: money, success, recognition, but I eat dinner alone most nights. I've built this empire, but I forgot how to build a life." She paused, then met his gaze. "Seeing you and Ethan, it reminds me of what I've been missing." Lucas didn't know how to respond. Part of him wanted to pull back, to protect himself from the impossible hope her words stirred. But before he could speak, Ethan ran up, holding a dandelion. "For you, Rachel," he said, thrusting it into her hands. She took it with the reverence one might reserve for a rare jewel. "Thank you, Ethan," she said, tucking the dandelion into her coat pocket. "I'll keep this forever." She looked at Lucas, her eyes soft. "Can I see you again? Both of you? Maybe dinner at my place? I promise it'll be kid-friendly." Lucas's first instinct was to say no. Her world was too different, too far from his. But Ethan was beaming, and Rachel's smile was so genuine, so like the girl he'd loved all those years ago. "We'd like that," he said finally. "But nothing fancy, okay? Ethan's more of a pizza guy." "Pizza it is," Rachel agreed, her smile widening. That Friday, Lucas and Ethan arrived at Rachel's downtown loft, a sleek, modern space with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the city skyline. But Rachel had transformed it for them. Blankets on the floor, a pizza box open on the coffee table, and a pile of board games for Ethan. Lucas felt out of place in his worn jacket, but Rachel, in jeans and a sweater, made him feel at home. Ethan fell asleep on the couch halfway through a game, and Lucas carried him to a guest room Rachel had set up with a small bed. As they sat in the quiet, sipping coffee, Rachel spoke softly. "I've been thinking about you since the park, Lucas. Not just because of who we were, but because of who you are now. The way you love Ethan, the way you keep going despite everything. It's inspiring." Lucas shook his head. "I'm just surviving, Rachel. You're the one who built something incredible." "You built something too," she said. "A family, a home, even if it's not perfect. That's worth more than any company." She reached across the table, her hand resting on his. "I'd like to be part of your life, if you'll let me. Not to change it, but to share it." Lucas felt his heart pound. "Rachel, you're a billionaire. I can't even pay my rent on time. How does that work?" "It works if we want it to," she said. "I don't care about the money. I care about you, about Ethan, about the way I feel when I'm with you, like I'm finally home." They took it slow, building something deliberate and real. Rachel didn't try to fix Lucas's life with her wealth. Instead, She helped him find a better job through her network, respecting his need to provide for Ethan himself. Lucas, in turn, showed Rachel a world of simple joys: park picnics, bedtime stories, Ethan's soccer games. Ethan started calling her Ray Ray, and her laughter filled spaces in Lucas's life he hadn't realized were empty. A year later, Rachel proposed in the same park where they'd met, with Ethan holding a handmade sign that read, "Will you be our family?" Lucas said yes, tears in his eyes, as Ethan cheered and tackled them both. They married in a small ceremony, with Ethan as the ring bearer, his soccer ball tucked under his arm. Sometimes the people who change our lives appear when we least expect them, in places as ordinary as a park bench. Rachel didn't just rekindle an old flame. She showed Lucas that love doesn't care about bank accounts or social status. And Lucas and Ethan reminded her that the greatest wealth is found in connection, not contracts. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories of second chances, unexpected love, and the courage to bridge different worlds. Leave a comment about a time when a chance encounter changed your life, or when love showed up in a form you never expected. Your story could inspire someone to take a chance on connection.